You'll have to forgive me, but it turns out that my timing didn't quite work out. I had to drop a friend at the airport, and it just so happens that I didn't make my way. Hey, Donna, didn't quite make my way back to my house. So this live is coming to you live from the corner of 64th Avenue and 232nd Street in, I believe I'm in Queens. I have no idea. Woo, woo. It's a pretty neighborhood, fit for a queen, that's for sure. There's actually a couple dogwood trees. There's some beautiful pink and white flowers around here. Lady's got her daffodils coming up. Anyway, manifestation, here's the point of all that. Manifestation can happen anywhere. Hey, Bernadette. Hey, Barbara. Welcome, my darlings. So we got some really exciting stuff to talk about. Let me give this one more minute. Up, there's a Tesla behind me. I'm hoping I'm not in their parking spot. Oh, I'm just parked in some random person's house. All right. Anyway, okay. Well, we got one more minute. We'll wait till 2:00, and then we'll launch this. So the reason this whole thing came about is I have been working with the Egyptian priestess Hathor for, man, she came into my world in 1996. And she kind of knocked me off my socks. I found out whoops, sorry, hold on. Turning off an alarm, my 2:00 alarm, letting me know that everything's going to be all right. Okay. Okay, I'm back. So Hathor came in 1996, and she came in with a bang. And I suddenly started having all these past life memories of being a priestess at her temple. And one of the things that she told me is I worked for this organization that was called Warner Earhart and Associates. And in 1987, one day, I had to say how many enrollments I was going to have in a program that they had that was called, hold on. Oh, it says my microphone. Okay. You all can hear me, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right, good. So it was a program that was called the 6 Day. You went and you spent 6 days in the mountain. You did things that you never thought you were going to be capable of doing. And it was one of the more expensive programs. And it wasn't something that somebody signed up for all the time. And my manager at the time, his name is Mark Spiritos, he said, how many 6 day enrollments are you going to have? And you were lucky if you had like one or two. And all of a sudden, like this, this opening happened before me. And I said 6. And I walked into, I guess you would call it like the timeline or this portal where I knew that there were 6 enrollments. And I turned around and I pulled that present where he had asked me that question to that future. And, you know, by golly, I had 6 enrollments that week. And he was like, how did you do that? And I said, you know, I just stepped into the future where that thing already existed. And he was like, okay, but really, how did you do it? And I was like, that's what I did. So one of the things that Hathor let me know was that I was using a technique that was taught to me in ancient Egypt for manifestation. And I was, you know, the other day she said, let's go ahead and bring this technique to the public. And I was like, all right, I'm totally down with that. Then Isis has recently been in my life. I've been channeling her and she's been helping me with manifestations. And then Archangel Michael came in and he's like, look, you're my girl. I got your back. Whatever it is you want, whatever it is you need, whatever it is that's bothering you, all you have to do is, you know, call on me and I'll help you make it manifest. And I'm like, okay. So there's some techniques that I'm going to be teaching you guys very specifically for how to manifest. It's a bit of jumping timelines. It's a bit of using energy because everything in the universe is made of energy. E = mc squared. Therefore, every thought that you think manifests, every word that you speak manifests, every action that you take has consequences, not like bad consequences, because consequences can be good or consequences can be bad. The consequences of, you know, putting together a cake mix is that you have the consequence of having a cake. But in a similar vein, if there are things that you're doing that are unconscious to you, if there are, you keep going, God, why do I keep seeming to date the same guy? Why do I keep having the same results? Why do these things keep happening? It's because you have energy ruts or energy grooves or, patterns for things to be a certain way. And then they always turn out that way. So one of the things that we're going to be taking a look at, the workshop is on Wednesday, by the way, at 1 o'clock. It's going to be a 2-hour workshop, are the patterns and the dynamics that you have in your life of why things keep turning out the way that they do, so that you can get back to the root of why you think the way you do, why you feel the way you do, why you interact the way you do. Somebody could say to you, you have blue hair, and you'd be like, no, I don't. You don't care. But if someone goes, God, you're a pathetic loser, and you're like, because somewhere you think you're a pathetic loser, we're gonna dig into some of those. And then the beauty of manifestation, and by the way, I'm going to be channeling both Hathor and Isis and Archangel Michael, so I've just been told, for this. So it's going to be incredible. You guys are going to get to ask questions, and there's going to be some examples. I mean, it's going to be really, 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 really exciting. So I think we already have 15 people signed up for the workshop. I'm going to cut it off at 20, so we actually still have five spots left. And I'm only doing that because it's going to be a little unruly if it gets any bigger than that. But it's going to be crazy exciting. We are all, I don't know what your beliefs are, but just understand that we are all gods and goddesses. We are all manifesting at each and every moment. And if you understood the power of your thoughts, you would never gossip, you would never complain, you would never think a negative thought, because every time you think something, it's almost like we had our the field of creation is like a sheet of cookie dough. And every time you think a thought, it creates an impression, it creates a cookie. And some cookies are good cookies, and some cookies are not so good cookies, and some cookies are baked perfectly, and some are burnt, And it's about bringing consciousness to each of those degrees and to understand why it is that you have continued to manifest in the way that you have. Let me see. Do you guys have any questions? I know this sounds so simplistic, and it is. Hey, Doug. Hi, Kevin. Aw. Hi, Carol. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We come into each lifetime kind of loaded with the lessons and the promises that we have made to God and to our guidance and to our counsel of what it is that we're going to achieve within a certain lifetime. And we have soul contracts that we've made with other people. We're going to meet, we're going to fall in love, we're going to break up, we're going to meet, we're going to get married, we're going to have children, we're going to meet, we're going to decide, hell no, we're not doing this, we're going to go our separate ways. There are so many different relationships. You're going to be my father, you're going to be my mother, this is going to be a great relationship, this is going to be a living nightmare, you're going to be my son, you're going to be my daughter, you're going to be my brother, you're going to be my sister, you're going to be my boss, you're going to be my teacher, you're going to be my president. All these relationships are designed by us because of different experiences that we want to have. And there are some experiences that when the energy comes towards us, we say, you know what, that's a little more than I think I can handle. I'm going to push pause on that, and I'm going to kind of put it on the shelf. And then we have this burgeoning shelf, like, someone's spice cabinet of stuff that's in the back, kind of festering and rotting. We have stuff that we haven't used in a long time. We've forgotten that it's there. We have the things that we use all the time, the energy that we're used to using, like you become defensive when something happens in your life. All of this causes you to manifest your life exactly the way that it is. Now, many of us don't want to take responsibility for that. We want to say, oh, no. My life is the way I am because of what my father did to me. My life is the way that I am because of what my mother did to me. But guess who's the common denominator in everything that happens? Me, myself, and I. So this is a very, very adult conversation. If you don't want to take responsibility for why your life is the way that it is, please don't do this workshop. Like, seriously, this is not reverse sales. This is not me trying, I'm not trying to manipulate you here. I'm serious. This is a very adult conversation about what it's going to take. It's going to require you being willing to go into the space where what it is that you want to manifest already exists. And that may sound like a little bit of magic, mystery, miracle, or witchcraft, but it's really about you being willing to bring each one of your chakras through an energy portal that says, I already have this thing that I want. I already take responsibility for what it is that I don't have and what it is that I'd like to have. Hey, Claire, welcome, Lovey. This is a conversation called "You Are 100% Responsible for Your Energy and What Happens with It." And not everybody wants to have those conversations. Sometimes it's much easier to say, that person hurt me, that person wronged me, or not being willing to take responsibility for where you have done that to another. Look, the good news is ultimately we all end up back in the kingdom, and we find out that we really never left heaven in the first place. And we've just been living out this kind of crazy psychodrama called life. But if you want to find out how to get there faster, how to get there sooner, how to get there more powerfully, this may be something that you might be interested in, because there's a beautiful book called the Sofia Code. We did a book club with it last year. And in it, one of the things that Isis said is what it is that she learned at the temples of Hathor were then taught and passed down to the Kabbalists. And they're things that, Jesus studied, things that were part of the Essene tribe, ways in which when you bring yourself into alignment of eating certain foods, exercising in a certain way, fasting, having yourself in silence, meditating every day, when you learn the inner landscape rather than just going, oh my God, why is everything wrong on the outside of my world? When you come to the understanding, the realization, the knowledge, and you literally take your hands off of the rear view mirror of your life, wondering why you keep having accidents, and you put your hands on the steering wheel, that's what this course is going to teach you. It's going to teach you how to stop looking at the past or being so afraid of what's going to happen in the future. It's going to teach you how to get present to your life. It's going to give you tools to be able to say, this is exactly what I want to manifest. And this is how I want it to feel. And this is how I want it to smell. And this is how I want it to taste. And this is how I want it to sound. And then you are able to transport yourself to the already existing timeline where that thing exists. That's the art of manifestation. And you'll be receiving tools to do that. I'm very excited to see what it is that Hathor and Isis, I mean, they've already told me the topics of what it is they're going to be teaching. All right, I'm having a hot flash. Gonna take my sweater off, or else the heat's kicking in. It was 22 degrees this morning when I woke up. Holy moly, was that cold. I put on double socks. I don't know about you guys, but my feet get cold. I can't function. Feet and hands. They're going to be bringing forth some things. Archangel Michael's going to have this whole adorable conversation with all of you about the power of prayer and about being willing to surrender and being willing to know that it is your ego. It's all of our egos that have really gotten us into most of the trouble that we've been in, because egos are very defensive, and their one role in life is to protect. Well, guess what? If your sole role in life is to protect and you're a warrior, you're going to look for things to protect yourself against. So you're going to always be looking for trouble, right? If you're more committed to a life that is a life of peace, you're going to be willing to let go and release and relinquish all of the things that have caused you the pain in your life, the places where you've gone unconscious about things, the places where you've said, you know what, I've left that sitting on the shelf. Why don't I clean my shelves out? I just moved recently and I went through everything in my house. God, it was incredible to purge like that. Let's see, what else can I tell you about this? It's going to be fun. It's going to be intense. It's going to be 2 hours. It's going to be recorded. And if you guys aren't able to attend it live, you can get the recorded version of it. It's going to be very interactive. You're going to be doing some work, some real work, and understanding how it is that manifestation happens. And it's not something that happens by accident. It's something that happens with incredible purpose. There are certain laws. There's laws of attraction. There's laws of assumption. The work of Neville Goddard is, oh my God, it's spinning my world on its head. It's going to be about getting to a place where you allow yourself to feel what it's like to have what it is you want, rather than saying, oh, I don't ever seem to be able to have what it is that I want, or I don't get that, or kind of the self-pitying, victim-y things that we say to ourselves all the time that we're becoming conscious about. So you're really going to get a chance to kind of dig into that as well. It's going to be an opportunity for you to have a tool that if you practice it, Carol, how cute. Carol just signed up. I'm delighted that you're coming. If you allow yourself to practice these tools, because look, you can have a jump rope and you can say, well, jump ropes don't work because you don't put your hands on the thing and you don't skip the rope. you can have weights and you go, well, weights don't work because you're not willing to lift them up and work them out. This is actually going to give you, oh, well, I'm delighted that you're going to be there, sweetie. Um, if if you're willing to apply these tools, man, you can manifest anything you want. The stuff that I have been able to manifest has been insane. What it is that I've accomplished in the past couple of years of doing this work, really on purpose and intently, has been like mind-boggling. Some people have been checking my books recently, and they're like, "How have you been able to manifest this?" And I'm like, "Because I'm doing this very simple thing of, knowing what it is that I desire to have, knowing that it already exists in the universe, being willing to align my chakras and my breathing and my consciousness to that thing, stepping into the timeline where that thing already exists, and then just knowing that I already have it. And then it's like you don't have to like beg, you don't have to plead, you don't have to, you know, gnash your teeth and sacrifice your firstborn or your favorite farm animal. You just have to be willing to surrender to the fact that the universe wants to give you everything that you desire. And it's this beautiful, beautiful dance of creation. You have to know that you have so many guides and so many beings that are committed to you having the life of your dreams. And if what you want looks like it's going to go against what someone else wants, that doesn't work. You got to be willing to allow yourself to remember what the plan was, what it was that you kind of promised God that you were going to do when you came here. And when you get into the flow of how it is that life was meant to be, it just becomes like magical. It's really, really gorgeous. So I want to open up the floor. Do you guys have any questions? Like, what is it that you want to know that may make you say, yes, you want to do this thing? Or I think some of you have already signed up for this, but how can I help? Talk to me. Anybody? No questions? Okay, good. All right.
If nobody has any questions, I would love to just piggyback on something you said. Do you mind, Lynn?
No, of course.
So the fun part for me, what I love about this conversation is when I start noticing the things that I've been doing that are working. I think a huge part of this manifestation conversation, in whether it's in psychology or spirituality or business, is like, oh, what are these patterns that we're running that aren't working, right? But then when we start having these conversations and I go, oh, I'm doing that and I didn't even realize, then it's like, oh my gosh, I can build on it, right? So for me, that's one of the most fun portions of this conversation is seeing what am I doing that's working, because I'm doing some stuff that's working. Like how do I make it bigger? How do I build on that? So anyway, for me, that's the seriously fun part.
Well, just know that whatever you're putting your focus upon, you're going to manifest. So if you're focused on the anxiety, the worry, panic, and the fear, you're definitely going to manifest that to you. So you have to be willing to step beyond fear. You have to be willing to step into a place of certainty and assumption that that thing already exists and that you can step into, a timeline and energy where that thing is already yours. And I know that's, like we've always been told, oh, you have to work, oh, you have to struggle, oh, you have to do this and you do that. And you don't. The things that I've been learning, I came across the Essene Gospel of Peace, which is some material that Jesus had channeled for us that was hidden in the archives of the Vatican. And there was a very brilliant man back in the early 20s who was granted access to the secret archives, and he wrote this incredible book called the Essene Gospel of Peace. And Jesus is like, if you do these things, you can have anything you want. And I was like, is it really that simple? So I've started doing these things, and man, he's not wrong. He's not wrong. I mean, there's a whole other 4-month book club that we're going to do going through that book. And in fact, J.M. Hammer, who's the man that wrote The Way of Mastery with Jesus some 33 years ago, we're in conversations about having him come and lead that thing. And, it's an incredible conversation. It's, what Jesus did is he would go in and he would look at your soul blueprint, and the healing that he did was because he knew that he wasn't a body. He knew that there was a way that you are a perfect, whole, and complete being that deserves to have everything that you have decided that you want. And he would literally go in when he did a healing and he would reset people's soul blueprint. He did this crazy thing with me the other day. When I was back in Virginia, there was a woman who showed up with my brother's best friend, and out of the blue, they were miraculously helping me with some last minute packing that we had to do. And she just had this heaviness in her heart. And I had this gorgeous painting of Jesus. And he said, show her the painting, bring her in the house and show her the painting. The painting was on the floor. He had light coming out of his hands. She fell to her knees. She put her hands over his hands and she started crying. And he said, bring her outside. And he said, I want you to put your hand on her heart and one on her top of her head. I did that. And he literally came into my body and with his hand, he pulled the darkness out of her heart. And like she started glowing and she goes, what did you just do? And I said, I didn't do anything. Jesus came in and did a healing. She goes, my heart doesn't hurt anymore. She said, I felt like such a sinner. And he literally just pulled it right out of her. It was so fascinating. And I was like, dude, what did you just do? And he goes, well, we just did a healing. He said, we just reset her heart to her soul blueprint instead of all the guilt and shame and the feelings of sin that she was carrying around, because she grew up thinking that she was born of original sin instead of knowing that she was born of original innocence. So like, that's the level of stuff that we're talking about. Manifestations that are not just like, oh, a new Tesla or, the car of my dreams, the relationship of my dreams. We're talking about manifesting things that look like, bona fide miracles. So anyway, it's going to be intense. Again, it's not for everybody, but if you know, and if you're called, please come join us. It's going to be really amazing. Anybody else have any questions? Okay, let's see. Somebody wrote something in the chat. It says, oh, that was Carol saying she thought she had already registered. Okay, cool. Let's see.
I have a comment.
Hi, my love.
I just wanted to say for those people who haven't taken a course, I'm in the quantum healing course, and it's amazing. But what I'm finding is that when we're doing psychic healing and things like that, there are things hidden. We all have these things that are way down deep that we're not necessarily aware of. And it's really helping me bring up some of that stuff, because when we're in a psychic healing or doing an Akashic Records reading with somebody, a lot of things come up. And to me, all of that I'm working on clearing that, and this is helping me a lot. And this next workshop on the manifestation I don't think I wasn't ready to do that workshop until I have been doing some of the quantum healing things, and it's really shown me I need that workshop. It's a continuation. I'm really excited about it, because I think it's just going to tie a lot of things together, and it just resonates very, very much. All of these teachings resonate a lot, and I think that when you become involved with a person, or you're led to see a person, and you have that feeling in your heart, this is a zinger right now, this feels right, you need to jump on it. And I'm really grateful that you're doing these things. So thank you.
You're so welcome, my love. Literally, imagine that energy. God is like, I got all these things I want to give you, but you got all these things in the way. And it's like when water's running down a river and it comes to a big boulder, it's got to kind of split and go around, and it impedes the flow. And when you start doing things like psychic surgery and, the stuff that I offer in those courses, and there's a bunch of people on here that have taken those classes, so they know what we're talking about. I teach a class called Quantum Healing, in which I teach you psychic healing tools to remove the blockages. Your rate of manifestation is crazy, because you've moved all the stuff that blocks you out of the way. So thank you for saying that. By the way, I didn't pay her to say that. She's just saying it, but it's true. It's like the next natural thing is, okay, now I have all this extra energy back, and I gave God back what I was holding on to, because energy is meant to move through us. But if we go, oh, I can't, that's coming too fast, it hurts, I'm scared, it creates illnesses in the body, and it blocks us from being able to manifest everything that is meant to be for us. So I love that. I love that. Ooh, it's 2:22. Hey, Valerie. Hi, Pumpkin. Anybody else have any questions? What else can I tell you? Go ahead.
Hi.
Hi, baby.
How are you?
I'm good. I love you. I miss you.
I miss you too. When we attend the workshop on Wednesday, will we be able to get a copy of the recording as well?
Yes, absolutely. My assistant Priyanka will be emailing that out to everybody.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, of course. Of course. Yeah, in fact, there's a couple people that have signed up that are not going to be able to attend live. So, yeah, it's definitely going to go out to everybody. I do that with everything. Everything that I do, I record and send it out to people. By the way, there was one woman who was like, that was a private session, and your private sessions are not posted publicly. At least most of the time they shouldn't be. There might be an error or two, but it gets taken down really quickly. But everything is put on YouTube, but it's put into unlisted and private folders. So, everything that I do that is recorded is going to be sent out to the people that they belong to, and those people only. Okay, let's see. Anybody else have any questions? So you're going to get to interact with Hathor. You're going to get to interact with Isis. Isis is very playful and very fun. Hathor is very much all about the business. And Archangel Michael, man, I'm just so wildly in love with that being. But it's going to be really, really fun. It's going to be some hard work. You're going to have to take a look at some things that are things that you have put in place, things that you have been unconscious about, and figure out, why you've put them there. And it's going to be some work. This isn't like, here's your magic wand, suddenly you're Harry Potter and you find out that you're a magician. I'm going to hand you the keys to the kingdom and you're going to find out that you're God and you've created everything in your life. So there's that. I think that's it. Up, some man on the street is eyeing me down like he knows I don't belong here. Not my neighborhood. Anyway, thank you all for being here. It's going to be like when you have literally a formula in front of you, which you're going to have with the class notes that you're going to receive, of how it is that you manifest. And it's just literally up to you to follow those steps. And the more you practice it, the easier it becomes. And it's just that simple. If something's not manifesting and if something's not happening, it's not meant for you. What's meant for you will come to you. And if it's not meant for you and you have it, it's going to leave you. Like, that's just the law of the universe. What it is that you chose. And the law of assumption, man, I can't wait to go over that with you. The law of assumption is incredible. Like, you just assume and that something is, and it comes. It's different than the law of attraction. Neville Goddard is really amazing. Anyway, all right, my darlings.
Does Carol have her hand up? It shows on my computer that her hand is up.
No, she spoke already. Here
it goes off now. It went off now.
Here's what's so funny. There's a girl on the morning platform with us. Her name is Deborah. And if Deborah literally raises her hand on her iPad, the hand raising thing goes up for her. And we still don't know why it happens. It's very bizarre. But look, guys, if you have things in your life that you're like, I didn't want this, I don't know why this is in my world, you will definitely have a chance to find out. Sorry, someone's trying to call me. Wait, am I back? Sorry, I got bumped out for a second. If you've got things in your life and you're like, I don't want this, I don't know why I have this, you'll understand very, very clearly why you have everything in your life and it's not by accident. And that's really the truth of it. It's in a nutshell. Hannah, is there anything I missed?
Not that I can think of. I just want to put the link in the chat so anybody can sign up if they want to.
Yeah.
Are you ready for that?
If you guys are interested, we can put the link in the chat. And
just press send. It's right there in the chat.
Wednesday at 1 p.m. Eastern. It's going to be recorded. It's going to be 2 hours, and it's going to pack a wallop. This is stuff that's coming from ancient Egypt. This is stuff that got brought through to the Essenes. This is stuff that has been part of the mystery schools. Hathor and I are going to be, at some point, she and I are going to do a longer extended program that's going to be Egyptian high magic, the true art of manifestation. And I said to her, what's that? And she said, it's how you manifest without incurring karma. And I was like, yeah, who wouldn't want to know about that? So this is the beginning of that. All right, my beloveds, thank you so much for being here, everybody. If you have any questions, you know where to reach me at any time. Hannah, thank you so much for dropping that link. I hope that this answered your questions and gave you what it is that you wanted to know. If it didn't, seek me out, ask me anything. I love you, and I will see you guys soon. Bye, everybody.